Hey everybody, I want to take just a few minutes and talk to you about 3 products that we have recently started using here on our homestead for little minor things like power outages, but also for keeping track of really severe weather that's been coming through the area. I really do like letting you guys know when I come across good quality merchandise, products that you're going to want to buy, but there's so many on the market, you don't know which ones are really worth the price. And I don't want you to go out there and just buy the cheapest thing on the market and find out that it doesn't really suit your needs. So these are things that we're actually using here on J&J Acres that, with the Atlantic hurricane season now in effect, really starts to come to light. People are really starting to pay a little more attention to whether or not they're prepared for a weather emergency. A lot of folks have already been enduring the tornado season, the spring tornado season. Here in our area, we get a spring tornado season, then we have the Atlantic hurricane season, and then we have a winter or late fall and winter hurricane or not hurricane, but tornado season as well. So we're constantly on the lookout for bad weather. And whether it's bad weather you're on the lookout for or just general preparedness, let's talk about a couple things that you might be interested in. So this comes with a bit of a background story. This is our first NOAA weather radio. We've had it for years and years, and probably about 3 months ago we had a bit of bad weather come through the area, and some straight line winds knocked out the power to our property, and more bad weather was still coming through the area. So this is a picture I even put up on Facebook where I was explaining my frustration with this radio. This radio works just the way it was designed to, and you can listen to the NOAA weather radio frequencies and get the alerts and things without any problem at all. But the problem I was having is that we have several radio stations all within a certain band here locally, and I was trying to tune in a specific local radio station, and for the life of me I couldn't do it because all of those channels, all of those radio stations were country music stations, and I couldn't tell which one I was listening to, and nobody was giving out their call sign quick enough to suit me. So I decided right then that what I wanted to do was invest in something that was digitally tunable on the FM frequencies. So that's what we did. We upgraded our weather radio. What we decided to go with is this Eaton. They produce a lot of different models of weather radios and other devices. This company does, and we decided to go with this. It's pretty much the upper end model. It's their FRX5, and we liked this for many different reasons. First of all, it is digitally tunable for the radio frequencies. Second off, their model below this, I believe it's a 3, has a solar panel on the top. This little light area on this model is the solar panel. On this model, the entire back side is the solar panel. So if you're in an extended situation like many years ago when Hurricane Katrina came through and we went a week or more without power, you could charge this up during the day just by setting it out and letting it charge up the battery. Along with many of Eaton's other products, it has the dynamo charger here where you can charge the battery, which can also be used to charge your cell phone devices, an MP3 player, to keep the kids happy listening to their own music rather than the radio or whatever it is. It has a forward-facing flashlight, has a lantern kind of light, so you can set it in the room and let it illuminate the whole room, and so much more. But this we're very happy with. It's very sturdy. The solar charging works just as expected. The dynamo charger doesn't take much effort at all to get a good charge on it. And now what we do is leave this in a south-facing window. So it's all programmed up with all of our local same codes for the NOAA weather radio. We leave it in a south-facing window and it just stays charged, and whenever bad weather comes in, we don't have to remember to take it out, to check the batteries, to charge it up or whatever. It's just sitting there and it charges every single day. So that is my first recommendation for you, the Eaton FRX5. Now if you're interested, I am going to put links down in the description for the video. If you happen to buy it through our link, that's an affiliate link through Amazon, and we'll get a little something back for recommending that product to you. But there's that. The next problem that my wife said, because I wasn't home when the power went out, was a frustration that we didn't have enough lights for the house. She wanted some kind of lanterns that she could place in two or three different places around the house so that it would illuminate the house for the kids. So we found these. This is a little lantern put out by Divine LED. And I did my best to take some video of how well this lantern works at night, but I learned that my nighttime photography is just not the best thing out there. But here's how it did. And the thing that I like about it the most is that it activates purely on opening and turns itself off on closing. And it's about 1/4 of an inch or less, somewhere in that range of opening, that it turns itself on. So right there, if you can see that gap, it just turned itself on, and you can get a very dim light. But of course, the more LEDs that you expose, the brighter the entire area gets. And so this is shooting out light on 3 different sides, and I was really impressed with how big of an area this can put in. We probably could have got by with just having one centrally located and letting it bounce light around the walls, rather than buying 3 of these. But now we have 3 and we can light up just about anything that we want. So that's a Divine LED's lantern. It's very inexpensive, but don't let the price fool you. It does a really good job. And the last thing is a personal flashlight. It always seems like, while these are nice, that you do need to direct light sometimes into a very specific area. Now, this little flashlight surprised me, and the price of it is going to surprise you, but be prepared for the features that come behind it. So this is something that's nice to have, not just in case of a regular power outage, but for general use around the house. And it even has one unique feature that I wasn't even aware of when I first received it and learned about after reading the manual, that would be useful even for hiking or any kind of signaling where you might need to signal someone. So this, as you can see, is very small. It's powered by 1 AA battery, and the light that it puts out is astronomical. I cannot imagine that something with just 1 AA battery would put out this much light. I have had double D or double C battery powered flashlights before, the big old like walking stick kind of flashlights that this little thing could put to shame. So this is called the I don't even know if I'm going to pronounce it properly, Through Night Archer, and it's 1 amp V3 is what it is, but I guess the Archer is the model. So Through Night Archer, and it's got a little push button activation on the back like we're all familiar with. But what I was excited about with this is that it has a power button as well. So you've got 4 stages of light here. You got a real low light, so maybe if you're in a tent or even reading a book or whatever it is, and you just need a low light, something that's not going to destroy your night vision or blind you when you first turn it on, you can get there. And then you just get more lumens in the next 3 stages. So the next one up is probably a good general use if you're just trying to get around the house. The next one up might be better for getting around the yard or something like that in a more open space. And then the 4th one is just plain bright. I'm telling you, you can light up the whole yard with a little AA battery, and it's really impressive. The last thing, and this is the part that I wasn't prepared for, I didn't know it was a feature of the flashlight, is it has a strobe signaling. You just hold down that selector button for a second and it starts to strobe. And I remember taking in Boy Scouts and other places where they talked about using signaling mirrors and lights to try to signal for help, and how much easier it would be just to be able to push a button and let it strobe on its own. And that will certainly get somebody's attention. Maybe it's while you're out hiking, maybe it's when you've had a disaster on your property and there's a search and rescue team looking for you and you're trying to get them over to you. I imagine there's a lot of different reasons that you would use it. None that you would ever want to be in, but something you'd be certainly grateful for to have if you did get in that situation. So those are 3 tools that we are actually using here on our property every day. That last flashlight there, I'm using it every day for one thing or another. The kids love using this lantern if they forget to feed the animals before the sun goes down. They love using this to get around the yard. That's their favorite way of doing it, mostly because Daddy's a little protective of that little flashlight, so I don't really share it very well. And this radio does a great job. I mean, I can't tell you how nice it is to know that so long as the sun shines, the NOAA weather radio is always going to work. And so we just, like I said, keep that in the window and let it keep charging. So if you've got any questions about these, I know there are hundreds of variations and different brands and competitors out there that probably feel that their merchandise is comparable or better than the ones that I've shown. But what I'm showing you is what we're actually using here on our homestead that I can personally say work great and are worth the price that people are charging for them. If y'all have any questions about those, then go ahead and put them in the comments below and I will respond. If it's your first time being with us, go ahead and click that subscribe button, but know that this kind of video is very few and far between. Normally I'm showing about the gardening and animals going around on our property, which is my favorite way of preparing for a disaster, is being prepared to make sure I can feed my family. And last but not least, I appreciate you all for watching today and for always being a part of our homestead. We'll see you next time.